Let's start things off with a few tweets from Sir Richard Branson. Ties are one of the most pointless traditions of the Western world. Agree? Hashtag say bye to the tie. You won't find a tie or suit jacket in our Virgin London office. It's an antiquated tradition few people enjoy. Everyone is encouraged to wear what they think will help them work most productively. You won't find a tie in sight. All right, so that's a pretty successful guy bashing on menswear. Let's go look at Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. What do we notice here? Always wearing that t-shirt, always wearing that hoodie. The guy is always dressing casually. In today's video, gents, I'm going to teach you how to be like Zuck, how to be like Sir Richard Branson, how to wear whatever you want. Now, gents, I want to be clear. I am going to give you 7 tips on how to break dress codes, how to wear whatever you want. But understand that most people do not ever follow, don't even think about these 7 tips, and they're breaking dress codes not even knowing that. And that has consequences. There is risk when you go out there and you break rules. And if you understand that, and if you're willing to do that, the reward can be high, but you've also got to understand this can backfire on you. So with that being said, let's get into it. First up, gentlemen, know the rules, know the situation. To be able to break dress code rules, you need to know what they are before you can go out there and break them. Sir Richard Branson, he knows dressing etiquette. He knows all the proper manners and things. He grew up in England. He understands the way things work, but he has chosen to reject them. Why? It's a marketing ploy. He understands that if he creates an environment that looks fun, that looks cooler than the company you're at, you're going to want to go and work for him. That's what he's looking to create. It's not that he has a totally free dress code. If you're a pilot, guess what? He has a uniform. You can't wear a chicken outfit and go fly one of his airplanes. Why? Because the passengers would be scared. They would think this guy is crazy. He's off his rocker. No, there is, with a pilot, there's an expectation of how these guys are going to dress. They have a serious job. The point is, it's a marketing effort on the company's part to actually say, hey, we're a fun, cool place to work. So he knew the rules and then he chose to go out there and break them. The next tip to be able to break the rules and wear whatever you want, be deliberate. So this is where you're making a conscious choice. It's not something you should just say, oh, I just happen to be wearing this. No, you get extra points when you actually have thought through and you've made a decision of what you're breaking. You've thought through all of this. So they had this study in which they compared guys wearing black bow ties with red bow ties. And first they said, okay, which guy, what do you think of him? The guy that had the red bow tie considered him to be more creative. But when they found out that he purposely did this, this was his choice. He knew he was breaking a black tie rule, but he wanted to be creative. Boom, all of a sudden his creativity shot up. So again, if you know that you're consciously breaking a rule, that goes in your favor. Now, this next tip for breaking style rules and wearing whatever you want, closely tied to that last one, and that is know your audience. Understand the people that basically are going to be looking at you and judging you. Now, there was another study out there in which they actually had people working at a high-end luxury shop. So they took people off the street, half the audience, and then they took the other half, people that worked in high-end luxury shops. They said, okay, we're going to have people come in wearing gym clothing, shopping in the store, and you need to make a decision like, are they actually going to purchase or not? They also put in people that were dressed very nice. And so they asked the people that didn't know anything about, had never worked at a store, basically, who do you think was more likely to buy? And they thought the people that were dressed really nice. However, the people that worked in these stores, they knew, okay, wait a minute, you don't normally just wear gym clothes into our store unless you're very high status. And in their experience, people like this actually bought more. So for them, they were like, no, we understand that this person here, they are making a conscious decision. They don't care how they look. They've got the money and they're going to come in here and spend. So again, you've got to know the audience. You've got to know the people that are in that crowd. The next tip, gentlemen, for being able to wear whatever you want, power. So we talked about money at the very beginning. Yes, if you're a billionaire, if you've got tons of money, in many people's eyes, you've got a lot of power. So you can, in most situations, wear whatever you want. But there's also positional power. So if you're the owner of a company, if you're the founder of a company, if you're the CEO of a company, or maybe you're the top sales guy, you can get away with a lot of things when it comes to the way you dress, simply because you hire, you fire, or you bring in a lot of money. Now, there are other positions, such as Gunny Highway. If anyone's ever seen Heartbreak Ridge, remember when they go out for PT? Whatever he is wearing, everyone else has to be copying. The point is, he's in a position of power so he can dictate what the uniform is. Now, this next tip to wearing whatever you want is one of my favorites, and that is, you don't give a f. Now, the person in this situation, they don't care about the consequences. For them, the risk is fine. The risk is exclusion. But for them, they don't care. I have to admit, gents, I've got mad respect for anyone that has truly thought through this and they are willing to accept the risk. They're willing to accept the consequences, possibly being excluded, because They don't care. They just understand what the dress code is. They're going to wear what they want to wear. They don't care what society says to them, and they're going to move forward. And people like this, they're oftentimes artists, they're musicians, there are people that are not going to conform. They think their work should stand on its own. Now, this next tip for wearing whatever you want to wear is one that a lot of people don't think about, and that is the timing of you taking these actions. So if you choose to wear whatever you want to wear on the day that your boss's boss is going to be in the office, you guys have had a very bad quarter. He's just looking to vent his anger and to fire somebody. And you walk in, wearing just something that goes totally against the company culture, you think that you're probably going to get spotted. And that may not be the best day that you choose to stand out from the crowd. And the next tip for wearing whatever you want to wear to be able to break dress codes, have confidence. Practice wearing what it is that you want to wear. It's going to set you apart. Yeah, your company may have a specific dress code, but on presentation days, you want to stand out from the crowd. It's going to work with your presentation. This is clothing that fits you. It looks good. It's a little bit maybe more casual, but it suits the nature of that company report. You're doing a report on Billabong, or perhaps you're talking about some other type of surfwear. So you want to dress it down. You're almost wearing a costume, and people are they're gonna find a reason. Guy gave such a great presentation. Yeah, it's just he's the most casually dressed guy, but that makes sense because of what he studies, that industry that he's specialized in. It kind of all goes into his nature, and we kind of look the other way because he performs so well. And they just give you a lot of leeway. You have your own rules. Did you know that Andre Young, aka Dr. Dre, wears the same shoes every day? Those are Nike Air Force One. Did you know that former US President Barack Obama only wore blue or gray suits? And of course you knew that every day Mark Zuckerberg wears a Brunello Cucinelli gray t-shirt. My point, gentlemen, every man needs a uniform. Check out this video in which I talk about the importance of a uniform. I bring in a friend of mine, Jeremy Fragrance, and we talk about how his uniform has helped him get deals and helped him be more successful. I will link to that video down in the description.